I'm Chelsea, and my story's so good it might send you to the ER.
I'm Carlos, and my story's so good you'll be jumping for joy.
I'm Darren, and I've got a story that's really hot for you.
What do all of these things have to do with the word international? Find out in this week's episode of History Bluffs. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of History Bluffs. It is where truth is stranger than fiction. And now I want to welcome to the show, it's your host, it's Gina.
Hi, hello, world, international world. That is right. Tonight's subject is international. How is everybody out in the world? That's
Doing
great.
good out
Doing
there.
doing good.
Oh, okay. I didn't know people would actually answer because we were online. So, but that's all. I forget we have all. Hi, everybody. Adam is the guy who just announced me, and he's going to be our tech for the show. So, thanks, Adam, for all of your help.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. I'm Gina. I'm your host for this evening, and I'll be telling you how we're going to play tonight's game with our lovely historians from top to bottom. Please say hello and where you're from, since this is the international show, or where your family is from, your ethnicity, your background, if you will. And we'll start at Chelsea. We'll start with you on top, and Carlos, turn your mute off too.
Bring everyone
Awesome.
out there. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hi there, I'm Chelsea. My mom's side is from Italy, and my dad is from England.
Hi, I'm
So
Carlos.
yeah, thanks, Carlos.
Oh.
No,
I'm Carlos, and my mother's from Puerto Rico. My father's from Cuba.
Hola.
I'm Darren, and you're asking where I'm from. I'm from Louisiana. But what's important is my wife is from Norway, and my story is about Norway.
That's cheating. You took it straight from your home life. I mean, maybe it's true.
Or did
We'll
he?
see. What's that?
Where
Chelsea?
did he?
I know. So let me tell you what's going to happen tonight. So
Accusations already.
I know.
See,
That is-
that's the game.
This is the game, and you at home get to play along. So I'm going to tell you how the game works. We're going to get started, and we're going to just have fun with you. So tonight we're going to tell stories all inspired by the word international. Their stories can have anything to do with anything, but these are the rules of the game. Adam, throw those up for me if you don't mind.
All right, I don't mind at all. Let's do it. Let's see. Here is our game show. We have rules. And there they are.
Thank you for vomiting that for me. Okay, so now the historians are inspired by the topic, which is international. Their true stories are what they say. They're factual, which means that all of their story, not just part, but all of their story must be true. Now, a bluff story, a story from one of the people who is trying to trick you. There will be two people telling the truth. One person bluffing. That bluffer can use a few little nuggets from history, actual history, but the gist of their story is fictional. They might bookend it and try to trick you. At home, if you're playing along, please do, but please don't put any answers or any comments in the comment section that tells anybody that if you absolutely know the story is true or not, because we want people to play along and not look it up on Google, because that's why we're here. So let's get back to the game now, because we're going to tell you all of these stories in 3 rounds, and we're going to start. Adam, I would love to start with round number 1.
Let's go to round number 1.
In round 1, all of the historians have 75 seconds. And the reason that Carlos's face is a little bit dark is he's broadcasting from the streets of Chicago.
Wow, Chicago.
So before it gets any darker, we're going to start with him. But let me tell you how it's going to work. He's going to have 75 seconds to tell his story. At the end of the story, I'm going to go to the other historians and ask them what they think. And you at home start thinking, do you believe Carlos? Do you not believe Carlos? And at the end, you'll get to guess. So Carlos, I would like to bring you to the center And I would like you to start your story about inspired by the word international whenever you hear the
First,
boom.
Gina, we're going to bring up the round tracker, 9,000.
Oh, yes, thank you. Oh, I should tell you at home that there are 3 full rounds. Everybody gets gets a turn each round. The rounds gets consecutively shorter. And the first round is 75 seconds. Carlos, we will start with you now. That is all I need to tell everybody. Thanks, Adam.
All right. Carlos is on deck. And Carlos, here comes the beginning of your round.
All right, I want to tell you all where there is a base of internationality here in the United States, a place called Toluca Lake. It's between Studio City and Burbank in the San Fernando Valley. And why is this place so international? Is it because of its famous residents like Bob Hope, Frank Sinatra, Amelia Earhart, Miley Cyrus? No, it's not. I'll tell you why it's international. Because of the Lappin brothers. Okay? These are 2 brothers, and a long time ago, they operated a business called Coffee Time, which served offices with urns of coffee. They were inspired by Ray Kroc, the founder, the titular founder of McDonald's. He built that into a world-famous brand, and these guys wanted to do the same thing. They wanted to see if people could be lured into restaurants that featured pancakes and waffles. Okay, so one thing they decided that each table they had at their restaurants when they opened them would have a never-ending pot of coffee that never ended. And that's just the beginning.
It's impossible. It doesn't even seem possible. Okay, so this is a never-ending coffee jar or coffee mug or coffee pot, I guess you would say. Darren, please tell us your thoughts. Where is this story vibing for you? Where is it not?
I don't want to nitpick right off the bat, but you told your story in the past tense, so clearly the coffee has ended.
Oh.
Never ending. It's never ending.
That was literally the point of his story. Stop stirring things up, Darren. Chelsea, what do you think?
Are we talking about IHOP International House of Pancakes?
Is that what the
Spoilers.
eyes?
This is not the story.
Uh-oh.
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 So she is doing lappings around you. That's for
Oh,
sure.
my God.
Really, I was hoping for more, but continue.
that-
So Chelsea, before we continue, I'd like to just, he's done with this story. You know that, right? Like, so my question for you is, what are you really trying to say?
Like international and IHOP? Come on. California?
Is that what the
Yeah,
I
I'm just a
stands
little
for?
disappointed.
The I stands for
Wow.
international. It's not like my IHOP.
lot of judgment before you even know what this is about.
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah, she is throwing
An
out some shade.
accusation.
Now, see,
You know what that
I
means?
felt bad for you when I thought we may have picked the same story. But if you're just being Judgy McJudgerson,
Uh-oh.
then I can't wait to prove that you're the bluff, maybe. Unless it's Darren.
Ooh. Hey,
Fight.
He's already
Could be.
accusing Darren.
Oh,
man.
there's blood in the sand already, people.
It really is, and it is perking me up right now. So I'm going to go swing on
Oh,
over to
boy.
Chelsea. Chelsea is at the top with her little fluffy pen. And Chelsea, your story inspired by international. You can start whenever you'd like.
Oh, you're muted, though. You have to restart now.
Fast
Please
start.
restart your story. Do your
Embarrassing.
tech challenge.
Don't worry,
one.
it's better. It's better than the IHOP, and it's worth the wait. So,
Oh!
Oh, here it comes, starting right now.
before the introduction of McDreamy and McSteamy on Grey's Anatomy, the world was swooned by a different doctor on the silver screen. It was the one and the only George Clooney on the popular television show ER. So George Clooney played Doug Ross on ER from 94 to 99. He made a few additional cameos later on, and he even scored 3 Primetime Emmy nominations for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series. So even though his time on ER made George Clooney a household name, obviously, what do you want? More. He wanted to start breaking away from television and onto the big screen. So today we see, kind of cross-pollination with, even Oscar-winning actors going on to television series. But Back then, you were either a TV star or you were a coveted film star. So that was what he wanted to do at the time. And he really wanted to create a name for himself on the big screen as a respected actor. So he first set his sights on independent films.
Oh, independent films. I don't know why that seems like you just punctuated that very well. You're like, on the independent films.
I was like, I need to start talking now.
Independent films to me does always feel international. They're very often subtitled, etc.
They do.
Yeah, they do. They do. Darren, please, your story, not your story, rather, your comments on Chelsea's story or bluff.
As if George Clooney wasn't already a household name from being the handyman in The Facts of Life, okay? Like he needed more fame than that.
I mean, that was peak Clooney.
Yeah, he worked with Blair and
Tootie.
It's true. They used to
Tootie.
call him McPeaky.
Yeah, he
What?
peaked.
I know. Carlos is shaking his head. I'm pretty sure that was my stupid joke. But really, what about Chelsea's story?
You know what? George Clooney, a.k.a. Worst Batman. And I also am not sure how this is international yet. So waiting to hear that before I make a judgment.
Yeah, it's true. It's still all up in the air. So, hey, Carlos, we have heard your story. Chelsea, we've heard yours. Darren, we have not heard from you. So please, if you could, please, when you have a chance, start your story. You have to come to the Middle Square Trade Places with me,
There
man.
you go.
Okay,
Hey, my
there you
story
go.
starts in the international, okay?
Okay, don't start, though, before the timer.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Okay, if you've never been to Norway, I highly recommend it. It's stunningly beautiful. It's filled with waterfalls, mountains, fjords, friendly people, and delicious food. Just about anywhere in the country of Norway, you can forage for wild strawberries and raspberries and blueberries and just eat them right off the plant. And in most places, the water is so clear you can just dip a cup and drink it straight out of a stream. And it's probably the cleanest water in the world. And when you think of Norwegian food, you probably also think of like salted cod and salmon. But what you might not know about is a Norwegian specialty called brunost. Brunost is a delicious brown cheese made from the whey left over from normal cheese making. The whey is cooked until it caramelizes and turns brown. It's sweet, it's delicious, it's great on toast, or try it on a burger. It's amazing. And today's brunost is mostly made from cow's milk, but traditionally it was mostly made from goat's milk. Fun fact. Oh, there's one other fact that's interesting. Brunost has a high fat content, and that makes it extremely flammable. And when you combine highly flammable cheese and a 7-mile long road tunnel, you're going to get a story that is uniquely Norwegian.
Okay. So, we don't know about brunost, though I want to know more. Like, you left it on a wonderful cliffhanger, but I'm going to let Chelsea and Carlos try to tear you apart. Chelsea, you go first.
So I don't know who you're trying to impress more, your wife or the in-laws, but like, let's talk about how lovely Norway is for 20 seconds.
It's beautiful.
Either you're in the doghouse or you're the best meetup time, my friend.
Oh, daggers.
I like your French. Oh,
Oh,
daggers. Carlos, what say you, man? That was funny.
Well, we don't talk about Brunhost. No.
No.
I don't know what Darren's trying to do to prove that Norway's a real place. It is. You win. Okay. What's your story?
They have really good water,
That's the water. It's the water. The water.
which you could use to make really good coffee that is never ending. If you had
That's
a
true.
never ending supply of water, I would assume.
I see a
fun fact,
tie-in.
Happy
Norway is where Voss water comes from.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. I don't know
Really?
how funny. No, just kidding. No, it
That's
is
where
a fun fact.
I remember when Voss water came out. That was a big deal for people who
Yeah.
like $5 waters.
You know what you can't do is drop a bottle of Voss. Well, you can, but it breaks.
Yeah, you break your foot.
Yep. Okay, well, this is all leaking into the next round because we're finished with round 1. So that means, Adam, you know what that means?
Let's go to round number 2.
Yes.
There we
Okay,
go.
so round number 2 where the points are double.
Why leaking? Why is it leaking in the round 2? It's such a
Because
weird.
it was a water pun.
Oh,
leaking.
Maybe it just wasn't a good water pun, but it was there.
It was very cheesy.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's my story.
That's not a water pun.
That's.
You're confusing me, Carlos. You're keeping me in the dark right now. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna keep going until we're done. So now this is round 2. That means the rounds are shorter. The time that they get to speak will be shorter. We're gonna go in a different order. Right now, I'm gonna have Chelsea go first in her story, where we left off with McPeaky.
Let's do it.
Okay, so George Clooney, he wanted to do international, oh my goodness, independent films. So he actually had his first big independent film with an international filmmaker, and his name was Angelo Rossi. So he actually used some connections on ER to get in touch with a casting director who was casting for this film, and he did land a role in this. So that being said, they were going to the Venice Film Festival, and Angelo Rossi, he grew up right outside of Milan, so he did have his own fancy Lake Como residence, and he decided to have people from the film over as well as other people in the industry to kind of schmooze before the film festival. And I will tell you the rest of what happened in round 3.
Ooh, I'm curious. Why does George Clooney want to schmooze at a festival? Darren, what are your thoughts, please?
Well, I've been to Milan, and I've been outside of Milan to the Como area, and I've even seen George Clooney's house. So I'm really curious to see where this is going.
Okay, so what you're saying in essence is that many of the things she's saying exist.
George Clooney is known to exist.
Yes, he's
as
real.
is Italy.
As is Voss Water.
That's true.
Yes.
And Norway is real, as confirmed by Carlos.
That's true.
Carlos, do you think any part of Chelsea's story is real?
Well, first, I'm wondering if Chelsea misheard the topic tonight to be independent and is just trying to cover for accidentally thinking she should just be talking about independent instead of international. Secondly, it sounds like she's describing the plot of Ocean's 12. So I'm suspicious about Chelsea. At the same time, Darren just throws a country and then cheese and thinks we're going to buy it. I don't buy that either. So we'll see how this plays out.
I do love cheese, though.
I do love cheese. And
Then Steve Urkel loves cheese too. That's not something to be proud of.
Yeah, I think the amount of times
Rest
that
in
I've heard Darren say "fun fact" and then talk about a cheese has been like 15 times in this show alone, and he's only been here for a few weeks.
Did someone say "rest in peace"? Steve Urkel's not dead. Neither the actor nor the character.
That was for my pride.
Who doesn't love Stefan?
Well, speaking of that, let's move on. Okay, so now we're gonna go to Darren. Darren, we'd love to hear more about the hot Norway.
Well, then I will tell you.
Okay.
Bring on the cheese. Here we go.
On January 15th, 2013, a lorry, or truck to Americans, carrying 27 metric tons of Brunost, left a dairy plant in Teesford, Norway, and headed south to Chopsvik, Norway. Like most trips in Norway, this drive involved numerous road tunnels. Because of all the mountains, Norway has over 1,000 road tunnels. And one of those tunnels is the Brattli Tunnel, that's almost 11 kilometers long. That's 6.7 miles to you Americans. A few minutes after entering the Brattli Tunnel, the truck driver noticed a small problem. The cheese in his truck was on fire. So he quickly got out, ran to the nearest emergency escape exit, and called for a fire truck. When the fire department showed up, the heat and smoke from the fire was so intense they couldn't even approach the vehicle. And the fire burned for 5 continuous days. 5 days.
Are people dipping fondues. It's like little fondue forks. And it was like, oh, I have some pineapple, yummy. Oh, I have some bread. Like,
Quick, everyone to the Brunner Tunnel.
yes,
Bring bread
hurry.
and crackers.
Oh my God, Chelsea, please.
It's just making me hungry. I mean, hungrier than the IHOP story is making me. So I guess that's good. But
So Chelsea, you just said, I guess that's good to Darren's story. That's messed up,
no.
but also funny. Carlos, please, your thoughts.
First of all, I haven't heard anyone say IHOP or anything like that yet, so I'm not sure where Chelsea's getting her information. Secondly, fondue angers me to no end, so I really need to have a moment to calm down before I can comment on Darren's story, because fondue is a scam. It's a con. It's to make you cook your own food and then pay someone to do it.
Well,
Yeah, you have to pay $50 for a plate of cheese or for a plate of fruit to go with your cheese. No, it's free. The cheese is free. No, I'm just kidding. So, hey, I would just like to jump over to Carlos actually now, because he is telling us a story, and we don't know if it's related to IHOP, but that never-ending cup of coffee is having my interest right now. Go, Carlos.
There we go.
Not only is this coffee never empty, right? But you don't need to wait for a server to serve it. You can serve it yourself. Okay. What? Now, the Lappin brothers, Al Jr. and Jerry, they also started testing recipes for pancakes and waffles in their own mother's kitchen. Okay. Her name was Viola. All right. And besides American style pancakes, they had their staff research and develop pancakes and crepes styled after other pancakes and crepes from other countries, you know. Some of their chefs also came up with some pancake ideas of their own, including one called Tahitian orange pineapple. What would they use all these crazy other country pancakes for? We don't know yet. That's the surprise at the end of the story. And the trays on the tables offer the selection of syrups like maple, boysenberry, strawberry, blueberry. They built their first restaurant in the shadow of a Bob's Big Boy restaurant.
Wait, they were like in the corner of a Bob's Big Boy?
They were in the shadow of one. What that restaurant was called, you'll find out soon.
Yeah, what color was it?
The restaurant is usually blue.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So
what could it be?
I really do have a fun fact about that, if this is what it is. Okay, Darren, your thoughts.
Self-serve coffee. It makes me so angry. It's a scam. Like, you pay for coffee and then you gotta pour it yourself.
Just terrible.
Touche.
Chelsea.
The self-serve coffee, that threw me, but I also don't go to IHOP, which would be really floored if this is not what that is about. But I just want to say about Carlos, I wrote down, I can't trust you because you say that you don't like fondue, and I can't trust anyone who does not like hot cheese.
Well, actually, Carlos, do you not like it, or you just feel like you're being taken?
I'm fine with hot cheese. I just don't like going to a place where they make you prepare the hot cheese yourself.
How do you feel about preparing your own coffee yourself?
That's standard and customary. And I can do that at home for free, along with cook for myself for free.
You know what? That was also a standard and customary burn, sick burn. That was awesome. Okay, so now that means I think that everybody's gone. Derek or Adam, please let me know. Okay, so that means that our round tracker is full for the second round. That means we are moving into
round number 3.
Okay, so now we're going to go into this third round. I want everybody at home to start thinking about who do you really think is bluffing now that you've heard half of their story, or more than half. But we are going to go in this order. I'm going to hear Chelsea's story first. Go for it.
Okay, Chelsea, you're up on stage. Here you go.
So here we are in Lake Como, Italy, for the International Venice Film Festival, and George Clooney is so just breathtaking by Lake Como. He loves the mountains, the water. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Obviously, we know now he has his own residence in Lake Como. However, you would be surprised that he would want to go back there after what had happened. So during this incredible party, champagne was flowing, caviar was being passed around, and few people got a little sick. They kind of traced it down to some things that were going around in the 90s. A lot of people got really violently ill, and they were not even able to make it to their premiere at the Venice Film Festival, George Clooney included.
So, hi, he got sick for his first movie premiere. I would just like to say for the audience that's just listening, she had this sheepish little nod. So if that doesn't make you think she's bluffing, I don't know what will. Darren.
So he went to Italy and got bad food? No. I've been to Italy. No.
It wasn't the food.
It may have been fondue.
It was going around the party in the 90s that
All right, now you're backtracking.
Now you're gonna.
Now you're backtracking.
it wasn't the food.
I don't.
Ebola. Okay.
The champagne was being passed around, caviar, other things. It was the 90s. People got a little.
Okay, I feel like there's an after story with this.
She's saying you got an STI. That's what she's saying.
That's not what I was talking. No.
Bad acid? That was in
We
the
all heard
60s.
it. We all heard it.
Okay.
STI or Coke.
Is it
One or the
STI
other.
or
That's
some
what-
drugs?
But do you puke on Coke? I don't. No, I mean,
I
I've
mean, you
never
can
done it,
if
and
you-
I would
if
never
you-
do it because
If you take it down the wrong hole, yeah.
He had.
it's not
There
Coke.
there was a party going on. There were parties. There were things being ingested at parties. That's
She's
all-
talking about
that's where
how
we'll go.
he started up his tequila brand.
Oh, was this in the
And now we have Casamigos. Thank you.
was this in the 90s? She's talking about COVID.
Absolutely.
COVID-19.
It'll get you. It'll
With
get you,
that.
George Clooney.
Watch
Yeah.
out.
Carlos, man, that was a good point. I'm going to swing it on over to you now. Finish up your story, round 3.
All right.
Let's get you up to the middle here. Carlos, you're in the hot spot, and your last round begins now.
Okay, so first restaurant in the shadow of a Bob's Big Boy. Even Al's wife, Marilyn, served as the first restaurant cashier while their son, Randy, was an ambassador under the register. So cute. They expanded because pancakes in a family restaurant setting, that caught on. And by 62, the two brothers, the Lappin brothers, were able to expand their chain to 50 restaurants. Okay, and then they started using their signature blue roofs, which they modeled after the Howard Johnson's restaurant chain. I know that's also a hotel chain, whatever. They also had restaurants. Deal with it. Okay. Eventually, Al Lappin created, guess what? International Industries. And eventually, this became, you didn't know, I'm telling you right now, the International House of Pancakes. And that's how it was born.
So suck it. It's not the IHOP. It's the International House of Pancakes.
There it is. We know now.
I know. I'm just playing.
Blown away, you should be.
Darren. You're patting
I'm
your
so-
face.
I'm so confused because I remember the International House of Pancakes. But then, like, there was this time when they all closed and a new chain called IHOP opened in the same locations.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, I've heard of those, too. Are those
They changed-
related?
This new concept. Did
Chelsea.
they still have to serve themselves their own coffee?
They changed the name in '76 to IHOP after a vote from the
After
public.
a
After a
vote?
public vote.
They were like, this is just too long.
I remember
It's
that.
Not international.
I remember that it was Ford versus Carter versus the International House of Pancakes.
Yeah.
That's right.
I feel like the millennials also did that with the word random. It was just too long. So now they call it randos. Like that. It's like
Well,
that
it's
kind of stuff.
Same length.
I'm impartial as the tech, but I do want to point out that the word international is long enough where I've been abbreviating it to the I-18N, which is a software development abbreviation for international, because there are 18 letters between the first and last of word international. So I'm just saying that
That's
is
dumb. That
is because who wants to spell out or even say out international? So I gotta say there's a little bit of credence here.
Well, Adam is lending credibility to your story, Carlos. And you're supposed to be impartial, and you also know who the liar is. So stop.
I
saying.
don't want Adam's credibility if it's called I-18N. That's ridiculous. That's
Fair.
a ridiculous abbreviation method.
Don't ask me about localization. Forget that.
Oh my gosh, stop. This is supposed to be a fun show, guys. So no, Chelsea, have you finished with your comments? Anything else on the international IHOP mystery that has now been solved?
I feel like Carlos is sitting across from an IHOP and he was like, that's a great idea. I have not prepared. Let me read the IHOP Wikipedia page.
Are you accusing me of being the Kaiser Soze this episode? How dare you? How dare you? Darren's always the Kaiser Soze.
Look at him.
How dare you? That was our show earlier.
Look at all of Darren's tchotchkes.
Yeah, he's got a lot to go on.
Darren does have a lot to cover. We have a lot to cover because we have one more person to go in this round, and that's going to be Darren. And I saved him for last because his story to me was so interesting that there was a fire and cheese and burning. Go for it.
Here we
All
go.
right. So that was called the Great Goat Cheese Fire of 2013. And what's interesting about Brunos or goat cheese is there's so much energy in it. It's been described as being similar to gasoline or explosives. And I can personally confirm the explosives connection. I have Brunost in my refrigerator, and each time I've brought it home from Norway, in my carry-on bag, it's been stopped for inspection by TSA. In the X-ray machine, a 2-kilo chunk of a dense organic material looks an awful lot like something that you're definitely not allowed to carry on. So not only is Brunos a delicious treat, great on toast or a burger, try it on a burger, it makes your trip more interesting because it guarantees an interesting conversation with TSA.
That's funny. So I feel like the environmental people should be listening to this, and maybe we can solve, some of the energy crisis. That's fantastic, Darren. Thank you so much.
Oh, just burn cheese in your fireplace or something?
I mean, if it gives you the energy you need, is it bad for global warming?
Some for me, some for the earth, some for me.
Think about it, people smarter than me. Chelsea, your thoughts?
I feel like he was trying to eat up time again. Like, we didn't get that much of a story, and like, why would you keep doing that?
Nobody got to eat in his story because the cheese burned.
Yeah, nobody could eat. It was sad.
It's a sad story. Yeah. It's a tragedy here.
But why would you keep bringing the cheese back time after time after time?
Can't Fair, you, with only like the most
from a store.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, are you
subjecting yourself to like a TSA crazy search every time?
He likes the pat down
more than once, and
sadly,
I learned my lesson the first time.
Sadly, you can't buy it in America.
Oh, okay, you can't.
Oh, really?
Carlos, your thoughts about all of that?
Yeah, I just need a fact check first. Did he say a Great Goat Cheese Fire of 2013 at some point?
I did.
Okay, no, I'm done.
That's it. I'm done. Okay, so moving on. Okay. So I think that does mean, Adam, can I please check? Are all of them responsible? Did everybody get to go 3 times? Yes. Okay. So everybody this far has we
have completed the rounds.
We have. That means all of the rounds are completed. All of our contestants have told their stories. Now it's time for you and you at home to I was gonna say, and only you at home now. You can guess wherever you are. Tell us in the comments who you think is the bluff. And I'm gonna go to each of the historians. I'm gonna get their last and final words. They can accuse, they can defend, they can do whatever they want to. We're gonna go from top to bottom. Chelsea, you go first. Who do you think is bluffing, or what would you like to say?
Darren.
Oh, okay, so Darren has a vote for him. Do you want to say why, or you're just done, like Carlos?
Really big story. Norway. I love the cheese. It's beautiful. And a fire happened.
Oh, okay. Whoa. So she has just totally, completely screwed up your story in like 3 sentences. Carlos, your thoughts?
You know, it was a real valid, real believable story. And then they went ahead and said, Great Goat Cheese Fire of 2013. And they you know what? They were like Icarus. They got too close to the Great Goat Cheese sun. And they touched that burning cheese.
And their wings melted.
Darren is the bluff.
Hey, they is not my pronoun, okay?
No, okay.
Right.
So the Great Cheese Fire. Actually, I feel like that should have been your opening thing, but instead you're like, my story's hot. Okay.
Leave with the nonsense.
Yeah, leave with the nonsense. All right, Chelsea has made her guess. It's Darren. Carlos, make your guess. We'll hear what you have to say.
I just made my guess. It's Darren.
Okay, it is Darren. Yes. Everybody's voting for you, Darren. I'm sorry, man. I don't even know. So, Darren, you get a vote. You can vote for yourself if you'd like.
I could make it unanimous.
You
could.
Well, Chelsea's story is big celebrity did some coke or X or whatever, which is completely believable. Carlos's story is a very factual, apparently, account of IHOP, which I believe he's turning the camera so we can see the IHOP he's at.
Oh, you had an IHOP. Lovely.
So, I don't know if he answered it. So full of apparent facts about IHOP that I know he's full of it himself.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm sure all of the facts that we know about the Blue Roof and all that, that's all true. But the fact that these people were founders, they did this all in their kitchen, I don't believe it at all. It's Carlos.
Oh, so he is running stories around your circle, lapping you. I don't know. I already used that joke.
That works.
Okay, so we're going to do it again. All right, so we have 2 votes for Darren. We have 1 vote for Carlos. But guess who doesn't have any votes? That's Chelsea. So tonight's winner would be Chelsea if Chelsea were not, or if she were the bluff. If anybody else is the bluff, they did not win the show because people have guessed that you were the bluff and you did not fool them. Adam is the only. Yeah, I know. It's like so exciting because I feel like Chelsea is the only one who hasn't been voted for. Adam, you're the only one who knows. I'm going to get out of here. Right. You take it away. Go for it.
Okay, let's do it. I'm going to line up our historians here, and we're going to find out now. Was your bluff tonight, was it Chelsea, who has no votes or accusations? Was it Carlos, who does have an accusation? Or was it Darren with a flaming cheese, who nobody believed for some reason? I will reveal it. Your bluff. This whole time, it was Chelsea. She won the whole show scot-free.
Really did.
Well done.
So, what did she win, Adam?
She wins a great opportunity to come back to History of Bluffs another time and defend that title.
That is true. Thanks to Adam for all of the help behind the scenes. We can't even see your face, but you were there, and we loved it. And also to Chelsea, Carlos, and Darren, our wonderful historians for tonight. To all of our international friends out there, we love you. Come see us November 5th at the downtown Orange County Library in Orlando, Florida.
I should have known when she dissed the International House of Pancakes. Everyone loves that. She was distracting from it. That's how we should have known.
Yes, everybody. You want to know?
Even if I was a historian and telling the truth, I would have dragged IHOP and that story regardless.
Yeah, she would. She would be rude, except she does go into IHOP. I've seen her, and she asks for the Rudy Duty Fresh and Fruity.
Who doesn't?
She doesn't. She can't help it. Who doesn't? Can I tell you, though, IHOP doesn't do all of the boysenberry and the wall and all that. They took that crap away during COVID. I don't know. You can ask for it, though. But also, I found out a trick about IHOP. You want to know how they make their pancakes so good?
Tell.
Okay, well, this has been another episode of History Bluffs. I hope you. No, I'm just kidding. They put them in the fridge, and they
from Norway.
What?
Pour them They have to be ice cold when they pour them on the griddle, and then they also put Brunost on top, and they melt it, and then they mix it with strawberry. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, everybody.
The whole thing. All right, thank you, Gina. You've been fantastic, and like you said, catch us on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook, wherever you get your streams and podcasts.